Movie Night is all about the Muppets. So if that food looks like a lot of fun to step up your movie night game too, stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how to make all of these recipes coming up. Hey guys, it's Bethany here again with Mommy's Movie Magic, and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited that you can be here with me again for another movie night. And if you're new here, I am Bethany. I create movie theme nights complete with dinner, drinks, snacks, and craft ideas, all for you to recreate in your own homes with your family to step up your movie night game. So if that's something that interests you and you don't want to miss out on seeing what movies that I have coming up next, go ahead down below and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can see the new movie night that comes out every single Friday. So if you're also down there, make sure you give me a thumbs up on my video because it really does help me and let me know you guys like my videos and my content and want to keep seeing me do more of these movie nights for you guys in the future. So go ahead, check out all of my videos that I have tons of other movie night ideas down below, and let's get into this week's movie night, The Muppets. So for our movie night this week, I planned out a dinner menu that has a little bit more than I usually do because I just couldn't pick this week. So this week I did Chef's Swedish Meatballs, I did Animals Drumstick Breadsticks, I did Rainbow Connection Fruit Kabobs, and then I made 3 different kinds of ice creams so that we had the faces of 3 of our characters. I had Miss Piggy's Strawberry Ice Cream, Kermit the Frog's Green Sherbet, and I had Fozzie Bear's Chocolate Ice Cream. And then for our drink, I made a green drink that's just like Kermit the Frog, so I can't wait to show you all about it. So let's get into the recipes right now so you can do it in your own homes. We're gonna get our Swedish meatballs ready. So I have our breadcrumbs here. I use panko breadcrumbs, and we're gonna pour our milk into it and let it soak for a little bit while we get everything else ready. Then I'm gonna melt my butter on my pan on the stove. And we're going to pour in our onions and cook them up until they are nice and translucent and cooked through, which is just a few minutes on the stove. Then we're going to pour half of our onion mixture into our bowl and start making our meatball recipe. You want to set the other half of your onion mixture aside. We're going to pour in our breadcrumb mixture. And we're going to add in our nutmeg and cloves and pepper and our salt and our minced garlic. We're going to add 2 eggs and mix it all together. And once that's nice and mixed, we're going to add in our meat, which is a pound of ground beef and a pound of ground sausage or ground pork. Here I'm using just a mild sausage, and we're going to mix it together with our hands. You can mix it however you want, but obviously my hands work the best. And then I already prepped this large baking sheet and put aluminum foil on it for easy cleanup, and I sprayed it down with some olive oil spray. And then I started making my meatballs. So you want to roll them up in your hands, and they're going to be about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. And we're just going to keep doing that until all of our meatballs are rolled and placed on our pan and ready to bake. And once you have all of your meatballs rolled, you're going to put it in the oven at 400 degrees and bake them for about 12 to 15 minutes. Once you're ready to make your Swedish meatball recipe, you're going to take the other half of your onion mixture that we cooked up earlier and go ahead and either put it in your Instant Pot or on your pot on the stove. And you're also going to add in a cup of chicken broth and a cup of beef broth. I split it up this way because I think the flavors are so much better with the 2 different kinds. And then we're going to add in our meatballs, again, to your Instant Pot or to your pot that you're doing on the stove. And then you're going to cook it for 5 minutes on the Instant Pot or simmer for 45 on the stovetop. And while that's cooking, you're going to cook up your egg noodles or your rice if you're using it, whatever you prefer. Once your meatballs are finished at the 5-minute mark or 45 minutes if it's on the stove, you're going to add in now your 1/2 cup of sour cream or a 1/2 cup of whipping cream, whatever your preference may be or whatever you have in your house. And you're also going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. And you're going to mix that all together until it's nice and melted. So So now we're gonna make our animals Drumsticks Breadsticks. So we're gonna start with our water. We're gonna add in our yeast to that and our sugar and melted butter. And the last thing we'll add is our salt. And then we're going to place the bread hook on our stand mixer, and we're going to mix up the wet ingredients that we have currently in the pot. And we're going to slowly add in the flour into the wet ingredients. And once it's all mixed up, you want to let it knead in the bread mixer for about 7 to 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth. And when you're ready, put some olive oil into a bowl and put your dough in it, cover it with saran wrap, and you're going to let it sit for at least an hour to an hour and a half to rise. Once your bread has doubled in size, you're going to take it out and cut it into 12 pieces. I used my pizza slicer to try to cut it into 12 pieces. And I got my pan covered with parchment paper, and I used my bread and I stretched them out into breadstick shapes and placed all 12 of them on my baking sheet. And I'm going to cover them again and let them rise for at least another hour until I bake them. Once risen, you want to bake in the oven for about 12 minutes until golden brown. And then brush with melted butter and sprinkle with garlic powder and salt when you're finished, and you have your breadsticks. I let my girls help me with my fruit kebabs, so I got out literally one piece of fruit for every color. So we have strawberries, oranges, pineapples, grapes, apples, and blueberries. And the girls just took their turns and kept stringing them along on these wooden kebab skewers that I had, and they made their own rainbows with the fruit to make up our fruit kebabs. I decided to have some fun and make our own ice cream. So I put our bowl and our whisk in the freezer for about 15 minutes so that it was frozen before I added in now our whipped coconut topping. It was in a can at the grocery store, and you can find it very easy. And you want to turn on your mixer and let it mix just for about a minute. And then you want to add in your vanilla and then mix for 1 more minute. Don't over mix because then it will start to separate. You just want it to be nice and soft and fluffy. Once it's all whipped up, you want to put it in an airtight container and stick it in the refrigerator so it can harden up a little bit so you can prep for the next part. So next we're going to combine the rest of our ingredients, which is my cut up strawberries. I'm going to add in my coconut milk, my vanilla extract, and we're just going to blend it up until everything is nice and pulsed into the blender. And next you want to transfer it into a bowl, because next we want to take out our refrigerated whipped coconut topping that we already made and put in the refrigerator. You want to take it back out, and we're going to fold it into the strawberry mixture. Folding it allows the air to still stay in it, so it stays nice and fluffy when you put it in the freezer. So once in the bowl, you want to transfer it back into an airtight container and put it in the freezer for at least a few hours to get hard. So the next thing I needed to do was create the faces of the characters so I can put them on my ice cream cones. So I printed out Fozzie and Kermit's and Miss Piggy's faces on mine, and I put wax paper over top of them. I melted down these chocolate wafers in the different colors that I needed, and I used a toothpick just to help me draw on these easy, simple faces over top of the wax paper. I didn't need many of the wafers because it didn't take much to give me the chocolate color that I needed, and I just used, again, this toothpick to draw on the colors that I needed on them. And then I put them in the freezer just to let them set until I was ready to start making my ice cream cones. And then when I was ready to serve, I got out my ice cream and started decorating my characters. Miss Piggy used Twizzlers for her hair, and I used green sherbet to get Kermit the Frog and some gumballs for her eyes. And Fozzie the Bear also used a gumball for his nose, and they turned out super cute. To get our Kermit the Frog drink color, I found this limeade drink mix at Walmart, and I poured one of the containers into a glass of ice. And then I added Sprite to half of the glass, which already gave me kind of a green color, and I topped off the rest of the glass with pineapple juice. And because the lime mixture kind of stays at the bottom, you want to take your straw and you want to just give it a good stir and mix it all up together. And it creates this really pretty drink that's the same color as Kermit the Frog. Like many of my other videos, the girls decided to choose something that they could paint. They love to paint. So I found this really cute Kermit the Frog plate puppet. So we used the example and we cut out part of the plate so that we could create Kermit the Frog. And they just colored in and painted his green face, and they colored the red for his inside of his mouth, and even painted the part with pink for his tongue. And we used cotton balls instead of the suggested styrofoam balls because that's what we had. And we just glued our eyeballs on and also the black parts of his eyes, and they thought it was a really cute craft to do together. So how can you make this movie night your own? Obviously, I love to make things homemade and scratch, and it does take me a lot of time during the day to do that. But I enjoy it and I love doing it, and not everybody does. So what you guys can do is buy a lot of that pre-made or pre-packaged, or even order it out from a restaurant that's near you. So pick up your frozen breadsticks, pick up your package of Swedish meatballs, pick up your pre-made cut up fruit tray, put it together yourselves a little easier. Even I made the ice cream by scratch, the strawberry one at least. Pick up all of those different flavors and stuff at the grocery store and cut your time and energy in half. And my last suggestion is for you guys to just have fun with it. What are your suggestions for me? How did you change your movie night to make it your own? So let me know down in the comments, reach out to me on any of my pages, let me know, and I can't wait to hear all about your movie night to the Muppets. Alright guys, I think that's it for me here at Mommy's Movie Magic. Thanks again for joining me for another great movie night. So head down to below to my channel and check out all of my other movie nights that I've done. And also every Friday I come out with a new movie night, so make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and give me a huge thumbs up down below, and I will see you guys next week on Mommy's Movie Magic.